Hello everyone, welcome back to the data science program. In the previous video we have covered we have started object oriented programming, and we have started with the objects and classes. In today's session also we'll be continuing to study object oriented programming only. In this session we'll be studying Dunder method, which is known as magic methods, and we'll see how the class diagrams looks like, and we'll have a conversation about the self, which we have already covered in the previous video. So I'll take you guys to the collab notebook directly, and we'll see today's topics one by one. It's going to be a short and simple video only, and this is going to be a theory based video. We are not diving into the coding part too much, so it's going to be a theory based video, and I'll be keeping it simple only. So I'll take you guys to the collab notebook directly. So these are the topics we are going to cover. So we'll start off with the class diagram first. So we have the class diagram, so I'll show you guys the basic structure of how the class diagram looks like. So we have a class diagram here, and on the top we have the class name. So we have the class name on the top, followed by the attributes or the data or the variables which you create inside the function inside the class. So we have all these things. We have the class name on the top, followed by the attributes, and then we have the operations. So operation is known as methods. So whenever you are creating a function inside a class, that is known as methods. So whenever we are dealing with the class, so we call it as methods only. We are not calling that as functions. So that is known as the methods here. So if you remember carefully, in the previous session I have created one banking application. So in that banking application I have created few functions, like for changing the pin, for creating the pin, and for withdrawal, and to check balance. So I've created few functions. Taking the same example, I can show you guys how the class diagram looks like. So what I will do is I'll take you to that code where I've created the banking application. So this is the banking application code base. So I've created the bank. In the previous session I've created this banking application. So inside this I've created few functions like menu, create pin was the other function, then I've created change pin, and I've created one function for checking the balance, and the last function was for the withdrawal purpose. So I had these many functions. So we have one. What I will do here is I will show you guys how the, sorry about this, just wait for a minute, getting this, I don't know why. So see, so we have this structure here. On the top we have the class name, this is followed by the data or the attribute or the variables, then we have the methods. So taking the same example of that banking application, I will show you guys how the class diagram looks like. So taking the same example, banking application, here on the top we have the class name, which is the ATM, and inside that ATM we have created, in the previous video we have created the two variables, which was pin and balance. So we have created pin and balance, and we had created four functions. First function was to create pin, and the second was for withdrawal, and then the other was for checking the balance. I've written only one, and the fourth one was to change the pin. I've also created one function for changing the pin. So on the top you have to write the class name, and then you have to write the data or attribute, and then you have to type write the methods. Because it's inside the class, you should be calling it as a method, not as a function. So these were the topics inside the class diagram, and you have this public and private. Whenever you find this plus symbol, that is that represents the public, which is visible outside the class. So I've created plus in front of this pin, so that means this pin will be visible outside the class. And in front of this function I've used minus symbol, that means this is going to be private, and this function will not be visible outside the class. So this function will be visible only inside the class. So that's about this class diagram, and now we'll see magic method. So we have already seen one magic method in the previous lecture. So that was the constructor, if you remember it carefully. So magic methods, what I will do here is I will basically write magic method is it has a magic method has special methods, and these are the special methods, and we have seen one magic method already, that was the constructor in the previous session. So we'll come back, and this I will show you guys the structure of this. So whenever you are dealing with how to find out whether you are dealing with a magic method or not. So whenever and one more thing, whenever you are creating a class, there inside this diagram, if you look at this diagram, we have not shown the constructor in this diagram. Why we have not shown the constructor inside this diagram? Because whenever you are creating a class, by default there is a constructor, so you don't have to show the constructor. That's why we have not shown the constructor inside this class diagram. So that means it's mandatory, and by default it's already there, you don't have to show it. So and then I will show you guys the structure. So whenever you are dealing with the magic methods, so it has a basic structure. So you have to use the double underscore. I will show you guys one underscore and then the other underscore, and then followed by the method constructor magic method name, magic method. You have to type magic method, sorry about the spelling mistake, magic method name, and then again you have to use double underscore. So we have already seen, I will write it as a comment because otherwise it will show us the error symbol. So what we have already seen one magic method in the previous class, that was the constructor. So the structure for constructor was double underscore init. The name of the magic method here is init, and then double underscore. So I'll write it as a comment only here also. So I'm writing it as comment, and then I will write constructor is a special method, and why constructor is a special method? Because it has got a superpower, because it has got a superpower. And what is the superpower that constructor has got? Constructor, we don't have to call the constructor. It automatically gets triggered whenever we create the object of that class. So I will show you guys one example. It always remember this thing, that it has got a superpower, that's why it's a special method. And I will show you guys one example. So let's say we are creating a function def, and we are giving init, and this self. I've already told you guys about this self, that this self is nothing but the object, because one function cannot interact with the other function. That's why we use self, and self is nothing but the object. So object has only got the power to interact with the variables or the method inside a class. So we have this, and then let's say we are printing a statement here, print my let's say I'm printing my name only, Vikash Kumar Mishra. I'm typing my name. So now if I execute, nothing will happen here. If you see, we have not got any error, but nothing has happened. Why nothing has happened? Because we have not created the object of that class. So it will automatically get triggered, this function will automatically. And one more thing, I have not written class only. So what I will do here is I have to type class name. So class, and class name, let's say, is going to be my name only, because it has to be in Pascal case. Then and I will shift it to one tab, and now I will print. I'm printing Vikash Kumar. So now if I run, we won't get any error, but we won't get any output as well. For getting the output, we have to what we have to do here is we have to create a object of that class. So I will create the object of that class. So let's say I will add one more cell here directly. Sorry about this delay. What I will do here is I will add one more cell for this, and I will create object of that class. Let's say the object of that class, and the class the structure of for creating the object name is you have to type the object name and then equals to, and then followed by the class name. So class name is Vikash. So and then opening and closing bracket. Now if I execute, we will get output as Vikash Kumar Mishra, because we have created the object of that class. So this is the use of and that's why constructor is a special method, because you don't have to call the constructor. Automatically it gets triggered when you create the object of that class. So we have created the object of that class, that's why it automatically gets triggered. We don't have to call the function here, but we have done that, but still we don't know what is the benefit of using the constructor. So we are doing this, but we don't know why we are doing this. To know why we are doing this and what is the benefit of using the constructor, I will tell you guys one example. So in the previous lecture only, I have created this banking application. So while creating the banking application, I have created few functions like creating pin, change pin, menu, and check balance and withdrawal. So but these while creating these methods, I have given the control to the user. But if you think carefully here, inside constructor we don't give the control to the user. What does it mean? We don't give the control to the user. So while creating the function during the banking application, we have created few functions and we have not given the control to the user. But if you see here, if you see the constructor carefully, constructor automatically gets triggered, and which means the customer or the user does not have the control over it. So what is the benefit of using the constructor? So the main benefit of using constructor is you can use it for writing the configurational related codes. So what is configurational related codes? So configurational related codes means for example, let's say if you have created one application and you wanted to connect it to the database. So you don't want to give this power to the user that okay, I'm asking the user to click the button because I want my application to get connected to the database. I want my application to directly get connected to the database. That's why we can write that piece of code inside the constructor, because we don't want to give the control to the user. So basically the main benefit of using the constructor is it is used for writing the configuration related codes where we don't want to give the control to the user. In the previous example, the ATM example, we have created few methods like creating pin, and we have given the control to the user that whenever the user wants, he can change his pin, he can check the balance, he can withdraw money. So for those methods we can give control to the user, but for privacy related code, like for writing the configuration related codes, we don't want to give the control to the user. So that's one of the main benefits of having the constructor. And then we will discuss about this self. So if you remember carefully, in the previous example we have used self a lot. If you see this banking application, if you look at this banking application, so starting from there, when we have created the constructor, inside constructor also we have used this self, and for all those methods also we have used self. While creating the variables also we have used self.pin, self.balance and self.menu. So whenever we are creating any methods, or whenever we are creating any variables, we are using self. So what is this self and why we are using this self? So when you create a class, it has mainly two things. It has data and it has got methods. So it has rules. Classes has rules because classes are blueprints. So classes has rules. Inside rules it has two things, data and the second one is the methods. It has got methods. So there is a golden rule in object oriented programming that only object can access methods and attributes data. So let's here we have created the variables, we have created functions. So now if we want if this function wants to interact to this function, this function cannot do it directly, or this function wants to interact with this function, they cannot interact. So they can interact only through the object. So this self is nothing but the object. So this self is nothing but the object. So when this let's say if this function wants to interact with this function, both has got a self, and this self is nothing but the object. And that is the golden rule of object oriented programming, that only object can access variables, data or methods. So that is the self part, and with that I think we are done. This was a small theory based video, so we are not diving into the coding part. So we have already created banking application in the previous video. So if you are directly watching this video, I will recommend you to go and watch the previous video, because in the previous video we have started the object oriented programming and we have created the banking application. So if you go and watch that video, this video is going to be a lot more easy to understand. And that's about this video. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching. Thank you.